In this video, my buddy Bill talks about how he was able to generate $175K in his striping business by implementing the information that I gave him. We're covering how his first year in business went, then also what happened that caused him to explode in his second year. If you stick around until the end of this video, you're going to hear about the secret that Bill used to cross the six-figure mark. But if you're already making multiple six figures, then feel free to click off of this video. But if you want to learn how to do this, watch this entire video all the way into the end and take notes. But before we get into that, if you're interested in parking lot striping and want to start a business that's highly profitable, we've got an 8-hour training course that covers striping, how to get customers, marketing material, pricing, and much, much more. Link will be in the comment section and the description of this video. And if you want to hop in our private group where we offer high intense level coaching that helped Bill and many others get to that six-figure mark in their business, consider signing up for the Collective School program, where Mike, Justin, and myself are all three inside this group helping you grow your business with video calls, unreleased courses, and hours of training to give you the skills needed to go out and produce results. Link will be in the second comment section and the description of this video. Subscribe, hit the notification bell icon. Let's get to it. First of all, Bill, if you don't mind, just go ahead and tell me about how you got started and then your first year in business, and then we'll lead up to the point of how you were able to generate that 175K.
So first year in business, obviously the first thing is getting started, right? Me and my brother, we were watching YouTube videos, trying to figure out ways to make money. And we came across some of your videos, Chris, and as well as, some of the others out there talking about parking lot striping. And we thought, hey, this looks pretty interesting. Let's check it out. So we kept researching it further and finally decided to pull the trigger on it. Now, obviously, being brand new, just starting a business, nobody's going to know who you are. They're not even going to know that you exist. So we got together, we worked together to come up with basic general design, first design on the business card. So, we got them printed up, ordered them some business cards, and then started handing them out, going to local businesses, hitting them up. Hey, notice your parking lot's looking a little faded. The lines, they could use a touch up. Here's our card. If you're interested, give us a call. Now, at that time, we didn't realize who we really needed to talk to. So we're just passing them out like candy. Then I created a business flyer and physically mailed a lot of business flyers out, as well as drove around town and handed them out. It's you can look at maps all day long, but those things they're not real time. So we spent a lot of time driving around trying to find lots that needed work and then going in and talking to people. And then later on, obviously found out we need to find the right person to talk to, because chances are you just go and talk to a random person and give them the card. It's going to end up in the trash. So, we did a lot of footwork and a lot of research too, trying to find information online. How do I get my first job? How do I find the person to talk to? So it was kind of painful. It was pretty painful to start out. Then that's when I kind of started getting in contact with you, Chris, and you really, started helping me out, giving me some advice. And so I started implementing some other things.
Now, Bill, if I can ask you that, first year, kind of rocky. You and I make a connection. We're talking. And I'm like, hey, all right, try doing this. And then you implement what you're taught. Tell me about how year 2 goes after you implement what I told you. Tell me how year 2 went.
So imagine lighting a firecracker with a really long, slow burning fuse. That's essentially what it was. Year 1 was the slow burning fuse. Year 2, that's when you see the fireworks, man. And that's how it was for us, doing what we had talked about and discussed and implementing the recommendations that you suggested to me. Just set the fireworks off for year 2, man. Year 2 just blew up, and we started getting calls like, it was pretty soon into year 2 that and even up to now, I pretty much do not hand out anything. I do not hand out flyers. I do not hand out business cards. I don't make cold emails or cold calls. Everything is just coming in off of Google, man. Every day my phone is ringing. It's crazy. So I'm not having to pay for marketing or advertising or, pay an employee to go knock doors of businesses and everything. It's all organic, dude. And it's all because the advice that you had given me, like, hey, try this. Okay, now do this. Now do that. And I was like, it's a lot of work, but okay, I'm going to do it. What else am I going to do? I'm not getting work anyways. So I implemented those changes, listened to your advice. And sure enough, dude, the next thing I knew, I started getting calls. I got ranked higher on the search results, and it just took off from there.
Isn't that wild? Look, you and me, we know each other personally. So
Yes,
it's not just an internet thing, but we live an hour and a half away from each other. We see each other frequently throughout the year. I mean, and the comments that people leave in YouTube videos. Oh man, this is a scam. It's not going to work. It's a scam. This is all. I mean, for the people who leave comments like that. I mean, we got 14 people that are watching the live right now. We really, really appreciate y'all watching the live. Hit that like button if y'all can for me. I'd really appreciate it. But to those 14 people, I mean, please tell these 14 people the legitimacy of what we're talking about right now. You just blew up year 2.
Yep, it's 100% legit, guys. Look, I can tell you, I can vouch for this 110%. It does work, but you got to do it exactly how he tells you. You can't just do a part of it, even just the smallest, most minute detail. You think, oh, that's not going to make a difference. It does, man. That's how the information works. That's how the process of it works. You got to do it how it's being instructed to you to do. If you don't do it, it's not going to be successful, and you're going to fail. You're going to fail. That's all there is to it, man. Like I said, I listened to Chris. Everything that I did, everything that he told me, I implemented it, and it worked. It set off year 2 for me.
All right, so Bill, back to how we were talking about the year and how the year went. You start off the year, you're getting calls, you quit handing out business cards. Tell me about what it was like for you when this is going through your mind. You were like, wow, this does work. Were you getting, tell me about the calls.
Man, so it probably, I would say late spring, early summer is when I was like, wow, I'm getting a lot of calls right now. And we started getting backed up, dude. At one point, I think we got to be like a month behind because of the amount of calls that we were getting. And then, some of the weather delays. So it was probably about middle of June, early July that I started turning away some work because it was just, we couldn't take it on, man. It was, all it is just me and my brother. We're the only guys working this business. We take the calls, we write the estimates, deal with the emails, and then we're out there working the jobs. So there's only so much that 2 guys can do. And we started sending business away because it got to be too much. So it was pretty quick after the season got started, like really started picking up, because usually early spring when the temps start to get warmer, that's when the calls start coming in, because it's that time of year, man. It's the season for striping. So it happened pretty quick.
I have conversations with people on the phone. Of course, they'll call me, and when we see people on the internet, people will reach out to me, and they're wanting me to tell them, yeah, this will happen really, really fast. And it's just kind of like this get rich quick kind of crypto mentality that I was talking to a guy last night, and he hasn't even started yet. And one of his first questions was, all right, so now I'm trying to think about replacing myself, and I'm like, bro, if you're already thinking about replacing yourself, you might as well forget it. Because you have to lay the foundation first. Like, if you join a franchise and you're gonna kind of catapult quickly because you're gonna have access to their branding, but you're also gonna have to pay royalty fees. And if you want to pursue that route, that's totally fine. But just understand that you're essentially working for someone else. You don't run your own business. You're just a branch off of another company. And I told him, and I said, you trying to replace yourself before you ever even got started is like building a house with no foundation. That's exactly what it's like. instead of pouring concrete, you're laying the foundation, you're pouring the slab, you're putting your plumbing through. I mean, just like whenever you're framing a house, a contractor would never frame a house without a foundation being poured. And so I don't understand why people have this mentality where I'm going to try to form a house or frame a house without laying the necessary foundation. So I told him, I said, this is what we do is not get rich quick. It's not crypto. It's not, I'm going to put 20 grand into it and then hopefully it goes up and all this stuff. It's not a get rich quick thing. I told him, I said, it takes about 1.5 to 2 years for me to produce a person who stripes that is very good at marketing, because you could be the best striper in the world. For those of you that are watching the live stream right now, I know so many people that are amazing at striping. They are the best as far as operational aspects, and they can lay out the most difficult layouts and read plans and all this stuff, but they don't know how to get customers. And if you're someone who's really good at striping, but you don't know how to get customers, it doesn't matter how good you are, because the only thing that matters is successfully completing the job and then getting that customer to pay you. And so I told him, I said, man, look, I've replicated this process so many times now. If you do what I tell you to, it's going to take you about a good 1.5 to 2 years. People who have been doing it for 6 months it can happen, but it's very, very few people that are able to do that in a short period of time. So it's not a get rich quick scheme.